everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of The Worst Heroes You Know, a Tales of the Valiant actual play sponsored by Kobold Press and premiering right here in its entirety on whichever platform you happen to be watching it on, including but not limited to YouTube, Twitch, and farmersonly.com. As always, I am HamaSamaKun, your dungeon master for this evening, and before we get into the continuation of our party's many crimes, let's get to know them, shall we? Starting with Lamar. Tell the people who you are and who you're playing.
My name is Lamar. I go by Lamar the Con Guy. And I am playing Nana Mazel, lovely little old elven lady who's completely normal.
Yep, absolutely nothing going on there. Take it away, Kappa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kappa. Christian is okay, too. I am playing Artor Basil Kane, Artie for short. And last time we learned that Artie has deluded himself into thinking he's been a vampire for the past year. Whew. Oh, man.
Breakups can be tough. That's all I have to say about that. Take it
We've all
away,
been there.
Sam. Have we? All right. Take it
Yeah,
away,
have
Sam.
we? Also, I looked up farmersonly.com. Seems, if you're a single farmer, have fun.
You'll never be lonely.
Thanks for the support. But I play Odd, who's a little druid, and there is something a little odd about her, some would say. Got a 50-50 chance to turn into a wolf or a chicken. Take your pick. There's 2 wolves in some people, only 1 in me. The other's a chicken. Pronoun she, her. And I'm on the internet as the other person, Sam.
Amazing. I want everyone to know that that's actually our second line of merch. Is there are 2 wolves and everyone except me. One's a chicken.
I buy it.
Honestly, iconic.
only
And to
one in me.
round us off, let's go. C, take us home.
Hey everyone, my name's Sia. Use they them pronouns, and tonight I'm also playing. Well, no, I'm not. I'm just playing.
You're also playing
Omen.
Odd.
I'm also playing Odd. Surprise!
All odds.
We are all odd.
Oh my god, body swap episode.
To
Playing
compensate for the lack
Omen.
of odd last episode, we're actually going to be adding
we're
more
doing
odd this episode.
all odd this episode. I'm
That's a
playing
lot of evens.
Omen. I am going to keep doing my introduction. Hi, everyone. My name's C. I'm playing Omen. He uses they them pronouns. Who is a very normal warlock who can see the future. The very mundane, very boring future. They're normal about it,
No anxiety.
just like anyone would be. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Like anyone.
Perfectly well-adjusted.
like anyone. Yeah.
Like anyone.
Like anyone would be. A classic person in a classic and relatable situation.
Yeah.
Always and forever. We pride ourselves on relatable and not at all ridiculous characters here on Worst Heroes You Know, but thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Anyway, with all that out of the way, pull up a seat, dear viewer, tell your significant other you're working late tonight, and allow us to tell you the tale of the worst heroes you know. Part 3. Many faces, all the same. I'd like to begin this session with a quote. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains, round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away. Glory is a tricky thing. Everyone wants to be remembered for something, to cement their legacy for one reason or another, but there comes a time when the grandest of monuments fades ceaselessly into the past. And all that's left is a lesson for future generations to heed lest they repeat the cycle. 3 simple words that can bring the mightiest of heroes to their knees. Nobody wins forever. But God, does it feel good to win now. We pick up right after the big meeting with the Sovereign. The hum of anticipation permeates the air, and the 3 of you were led out the front entrance. To the confused and somewhat indignant looks of the general populace, hell hath no fury like an upset fandom, but amongst the ravenous hordes of fans, we see Odd. The real Odd. Odd, you arrived just a moment too late. You were sure the party was going to meet up prior, but when you arrived, they were nowhere to be found. This was supposed to be a big step for the whole group, a chance to prove that you belong, but here you are now, watching your friends walk out of the castle, none the wiser that you weren't with them. What goes through your mind?
Confusion. I think she stands there and is staring quite not at each of them individually, not taking in this whole picture just yet, as it's a blur and becomes to focus. She just kind of squints a bit more and really has this new image of them all together without her seared in her mind. It's not quite yet that feeling of sadness or dread or toxicity, but it's apparent. She kind of freezes, fawns, and just pushes her hands together in front of her, twiddles her thumbs, and starts kind of picking at her nails as she takes a breath and smiles at them. Welcome out.
Odd. Did you really have to choose after we meet with the Sovereign to turn back? I don't know about this insistence on the chicken thing.
Guys.
What?
I don't think this is odd, and I'll hold up the chicken that came with us.
That's a chicken.
No, that's odd.
We
No,
thought it was you.
I'm odd.
You are odd. Artie,
That's a chicken.
Artie, who are you holding?
I
better.
thought it was odd.
No, it was.
Well, yeah, obviously odd is right there.
Artie, did you steal a random chicken?
This
Let's
chicken's
peck
been with
at
us
your
the
hand.
whole time. Stop. Ow.
Why don't
Oh.
we put down the chicken?
He's missing some tail feathers.
So when we all met up and the chicken was with us, that wasn't you. We thought it was you. Where have you been?
No, I've been waiting here. Like we planned to. And y'all weren't around.
Oh dear. I am so terribly sorry, Odd. I think none of us would have ever went without you if we would have known that that was not you.
Well, that's the thing. You should have known it wasn't me. That hurts.
Can you could you show us your chicken form now, so we never mistake you again?
Yeah, I'm really sorry. That's
No, it's fine. Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna have to flip for it because it's always a 50-50 chance.
oh no.
She turns and looks away for a second, breathing in this request. It almost feels icky that it's come in at a time where she just doesn't feel all right there. Very full in her chest of air. It's highly compressed. Just won't escape. It just sits there in a ball. Give me a second. Her body begins to morph pretty quickly before your eyes, but in that slower motion, you could see that these limbs extending in ways that are very inhumane, or not inhumane, inhuman. And instead of just the 2 feet changing, she folds over as her legs begin to extend into quad at the same length, fur covering her body, very bushy tail. She's still small, but she's a wolf.
Nana will, do her little shuffle, her click of her cane followed by her feet, until she comes up to Odd. And then she slowly lowers herself down to her knees. She lowers her cane down, puts her basket of holding down, folds her hands upon the ground, and leans forward in a bowing motion, and goes, I am so terribly sorry, Odd. I do hope you can forgive me for forgetting about your dear face. But I assure you, it is simply a mistake. One that we will not make again. And Nana sits back up, kind of sitting on her knees.
I think that, like a dog who you just told, shake, She put her paw out to shake.
Nana will grab your paw.
You
Kinda
little
gives a little headbutt real quick.
Aw.
Well, if you must know, you are now a hero of the city. Well, a potential one.
She does
We all
that
are.
dog head cock. That's so cute.
Yes, we're going on a great adventure, and it only costs a little bit of psychic damage to everyone who heard it, which I think is a great.
Covering her nose. She's just on the ground now, just covering her face. You
No,
just
no.
see her body go up with air and then down as she exhales.
Nana will slowly get back up to her feet. Now, we've learned a very important thing, which is to no anxiety, go. No worries. We are the heroes that we belong to be. So we shall stand strong and be those heroes that we are. And let them know the worst house is the best house.
She's still on the ground. Roll over to her side now, just kind of like, ugh. But belly exposed. You may rub if you like.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
The heroes of the realm.
Suddenly this wolf sounds like a hyena. And Odd laughs.
Well, with all that, you were told that a carriage would be ready for you at the front gate within the hour, giving you enough time to take care of any last-minute preparations you may have. So, we're just going to go down the line. Artur, is there anything you would like to do within the city before you guys leave?
No, I think the big thing that I did in the previous session was to get prepared. So I have a trunk of stuff somewhere, and so I just try and figure out where I had where I can like pack it into the carriage, or on top, or behind.
Yeah, it's like one of those very typical looking carriages. The interior, it has like the grates and stuff on the side to pack your stuff. There's a single horse, this beautiful, like, stark white looking thing. I've never had to describe a horse, oddly enough, in a game before, but whatever a horse looks like in your mind, that's what it is.
Got it.
So, as we carry on over, Nana Maisel, is there anything you want to do in the city before you leave?
Yes, actually. Nana is going to make herself excuse me, I must send a quick letter. As Nana will actually try to find like a postman or a courier of sorts. And she, in her basket of holding, which is I'm deeming it now, she takes out this big tome that she's been carrying around with her, and inside of that she pulls out an envelope that has that is sealed with red wax, and says, "For the sunken depths and forgotten reaches."
Okay.
And she will go to the courier and goes, "Hello, I am Gertrude Maisel. Can you please deliver this to the sunken depths and forgotten reaches? This is to go to their king. And please make sure you don't let anyone open it. That's very much booby-trapped. And if anyone tells you, gives you any gruff when you get to the gates, let them know that the tyrant queen demands it."
You see the person working at the post office is the same person who works every post office. You see the same courier, the same mailman that...
Oh, the one we threatened earlier? Great.
Yeah, not technically the one you had threatened earlier, but one of, as
okay.
they're essentially run by a simulacrum, Brimsley, that just kind of scatters across the city. You do note, they don't recognize you by any means. They don't know who you are because they are each separate people, but as they take the letter from you, you notice... I will say on the surface, it's not very hard to see. You notice, as they take your letter, their hand is shaking. And they just have this 1,000-yard stare as they take it and start packing it. Will that be all?
That's all. Hopefully everything goes well. And, may the People don't like her hip. Have a good day, and we'll just turn around and walk out, head back towards the carriage.
All right. They continue going to work. That same stare off. They don't really break, not so much eye contact, but they are just staring as you leave. They sort of watch as you leave down the street as well. But we cut over to Odd. Is there anything you'd like to do before you leave?
What is the time frame for this?
It is roughly like, I'd say it's a
Feel like
little
it-
bit after like 3, roughly. They
Okay.
had gone in the morning, had the whole like song and dance, the little party, the meet and greet, and were let out kind of around dinner time ish. So that's about where you are right now.
Back in her normal human form. I think that you said it's prior to dinner?
Yeah.
She would like to find Omen.
Okay. Omen, I think, has been very awkwardly waiting by the castle gates. The other members of the Corvus ostensibly are still inside, and they're kind of like doing the thing where they're pretending to just be casually waiting, but there's nothing casual about like a 6-foot tall goth bird. So they're just kind of like standing a few feet away from the guards at like the castle entrance, just kind of like not T-pose, they're just standing emojiing there in the middle of the street. Like no shifting, but like little tilts of their head every now and again, a like ruffle of their feathers.
Then I think Odd would find you and not say anything but mimic you. So standing right to your left, you just see basically you in Odd form. Standing very still, looking ahead, waiting.
There's like a minute and a half of silence, but you can like feel under the mask the eyes like tip down at you
Ooh.
and then back up. And then like again. And another like maybe 30 seconds before Omen goes, "I was born out of an egg."
So what do you think came first?
The egg.
I agree.
You do?
I do. It had to.
No bird laid the egg that I came from. It came out of a dream.
Can I hear more about it?
You want to hear more about it?
Oh, 100%. That's so cool. I've never heard anybody else say that. So, we can keep standing like this, or if you want, we can sit.
Okay. They look to you for advice on how to sit. Like, they don't do it first. They kind of look at you for... They look like all the way down because they're so big. They're so tall. It doesn't make sense. They look down at you for
think-
advice on how to sit.
I think that Odd tries to find something where there's some elevation, but it's not quite noticeable. It's not like you're sitting on a rock and someone's on the ground. It's the ground, but it's a little elevated, and finding that best view to be able to look as much into your eyes as she can, she would sit and then gesture for you to sit in front. But then, do y'all know how kids used to like be able to keep like a ball in between them? They would like make their feet touch.
Yeah.
I think she would like put her little legs in a V. Now you do the same, and put the soles of your feet against mine.
When Omen unfolds their legs out, it is like the long willowy limb that I imagine just instantly pushes yours back a little bit, like makes the
Oh, like buckles.
like knee, yeah, buckle, like
You're not
Oh,
supposed to actually, like fight me.
Oh,
She scoots just a little
they
bit more.
scoot
There
back
we
a
go.
little too.
Wait, no, not too far. Okay. And
Oh,
she scoots back down.
um,
Until her
and
feet
now
are touching
what?
yours comfortably.
Yeah. They kind
Now
of seem
it'll
to like
stay.
stare at it.
It's like a safety wall. It's invisible. Now you can share what you would like in this safety diamond.
Okay.
She leans in, thrilled.
And I think they take they kind of like reach into this heavy, like feathered cape and they pull out a little shard of what looks like an egg. And it's got this almost like pearlescent sheen on the end and it seems like almost jagged and sharp. And they put it in the safety diamond, kind of in between them.
Don't touch it, Odd. Don't touch it, Odd. Don't touch it, Odd. That's really.
You can keep it.
I can touch it. I mean, keep it. Both questions.
Yeah.
And she like leans in. She stretches. She can almost hit her toes, but like as to the middle as she can to hold this. What does it feel like in her hands?
It's weirdly hot. Like it's made of magic. Strangely warm. Not from like being in their cloak, but it just has a heat to it. And Omen is usually quite still, but has these like little, as you're talking, these strange like ticks to their head. Like a bird thinking about a seed that it wants to grab but won't, has to inspect from every angle underneath the mask. And the mask also like glints with this almost same like pearlescent sheen. I had a dream last night about a person changing themselves to become unrecognizable. And I thought the dream was supposed to be about us changing ourselves into the heroes that we're supposed to be, but I think it was about you now.
Me specifically?
I'm sorry we didn't recognize you. It won't happen again.
Thank you for apologizing. I mean, I knew when I saw y'all you didn't mean it. You wouldn't have looked right back at me. You would have probably looked really awkwardly, like, oh no, did she see her eye contact? Oh, darn it. So,
even if we didn't mean it, it was still thoughtless and careless and hurtful. So,
you don't have to keep beating yourself up. We're good now.
We're gonna
She tapped her feet to your feet, like playfully.
They they like respond all the way. Their body like ripples in this strange way. If we're gonna be heroes, we can't hurt each other.
That's right.
So you can keep that.
Thank you.
And
it's very neat.
I'll always be able to find you with it.
But can I find you? Is this like a one-way mirror or two-way mirror?
Can I touch your forehead?
Absolutely. And she does that like weird bendy Gumby moment again. She bends forward. It's like, there you go.
As Omen reaches out and presses like these kind of cold, willowy fingers against your forehead, I would like to use a gaze of two minds. If I touch a willing humanoid's, if I touch a person, I can see through a willing humanoid's eyes. I gain the benefits of that creature's sight. We must be on the same plane. But I feel like there's this, if Odd is a willing humanoid creature,
100%.
there's this odd moment, where this pearlescent sheen almost like wipes across both of their eyes for a moment. And you can almost like, it's like a shadow feeling of a bird sitting on your shoulder. It's a one-way thing, I think.
That's okay, because whatever you just did was very nice. That was
And they pull away. So what do you think about eggs?
And she like kind of flops back up, bouncing a little bit back and forth, like a boing. Well, I love all kind of eggs. There's organic grass-fed eggs. You've got free-range eggs. You've got your large ones. Have you seen the extra large ones? I think those are from ostriches, but nobody believes me because they're like, I've never even seen an ostrich in this world. But it doesn't matter because they might exist. And then you got turtle eggs. You also, have you ever seen fish eggs? Those are the biggest ones.
I hate them.
You hate them?
I don't like them.
I don't like
They don't even really have a shell.
Yeah, I think they're actually kind of gummy. Ugh.
I don't think they should count as eggs.
I agree. Well, what makes an egg an egg?
I like to imagine that there is a rather long philosophical discussion about what makes an egg.
100%.
So long that I imagine the Corvus pass Omen by and they don't even know it.
There is. You continue to discuss. There was that very interesting level of clarity that came with the gaze of two minds. Not so much a physical thing, but one that is almost spiritual in essence. This sort of aligning of souls. But as you continue to discuss what is and is not an egg, for those of you watching our show, behind Omen, you see the Corvus exit the castle, walk along the sidewalk, pass Omen completely by. Save for one. You see Erebus kind of trail behind, normally at the front of the pack, but is soon overtaken by the rest. Kind of gradually looks over in your direction, and you can see past this sort of very gilded mask, one of the more opulent looking ones amongst the Corvus. And despite being covered head to toe, there's that brief moment where you see them almost sort of swallow, kind of holding themselves back from saying something, but beneath their robes you can see them picking at their fingernails and continue walking. Having not really done much with the rest of your day, the four of you now stand at the gate to the city. You can see that the carriage is prepared, all of your provisions have been packed carefully. They didn't really offer you much other than a well wish and a good luck, as from this point on you are essentially on your own.
You two also believe that an egg has at least a membrane.
At least.
It has to.
What's a membrane?
Oh, it's almost like a little jelly shield.
Sure.
Yeah, well, yes, I believe every egg has a membrane. Going through my history.
Right, Omen.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
but ostriches don't actually exist, right?
No, but they do.
But they really.
An ostrich?
I'm really not sure.
Yeah,
What
it's
is an ostrich?
They're
Yeah,
really
see?
big birds that I heard in legend. Maybe they're not real.
I've
I
seen
think you're
some
thinking
big
about
birds.
a dragon.
No, that would
Yeah.
be the hot lady at Worst House. Does she lay
That's
eggs?
dragonborn. I don't know. Do dragonborns lay eggs?
I'm
Wow.
sorry, I did not go to a proper schooling when I was young. The streets don't really go over this very often.
Nana Maisel, I thought.
Well, no, you go
You-
over the streets.
Mm.
Haven't you built schools?
Yes.
See your name. on
Yes.
Stuff in town sometimes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well,
Okay.
it's easy to build something. Doesn't mean I know how to do it. I can build a kitchen. Doesn't mean I know how to cook. I just simply know where to put the fire.
But you make really, really good muffins.
Well, I do know how to cook. That was a bad example, but
Okay.
sometimes you do things and things happen, and you pick up a few things to do. I've had muffins are ooh, do I have you see Nana Maisel ADHD brain immediately go to the provisions to see if she has enough stuff to make a muffin in or a cookie, and she just kind of opens up immediately. It's like, okay, flour, sugar, yeast in muffin.
I glanced back in the direction of the the gates and the palace and all that stuff, and just remembering of the heavy conversation before we got assigned. I'm like, can we get out of here, please? We've got big important mission. Don't want to
Yeah.
be held up.
Wait, y'all gotta tell me.
A muffin. Yes. What?
Let's get on the road and then we can talk, I guess.
Yeah. While waiting, I fashioned the carriage to have blackout curtains, so we can sleep.
Excellent.
It is an especially goth-looking character.
I like how
There's
he
Omen
said
staples.
so we
approves.
can sleep.
As RGB.
Omen has no questions. They're very pleased with this.
Oh yes, I was thought of. Thank you.
They didn't
Is,
provide us a driver of the carriage, did they?
No, they had assumed that your group would have a driver, or that you were able to drive a carriage. Can
Or
any
we
of
could
you drive
afford
a
it.
carriage?
What is the skill set of driving
Yeah,
a carriage?
let's roll for it.
I would say that this is.
I've got herbalist's tools.
Ooh, that actually does it. No, I would say that this is like sleight of hand. I think to drive. Navigating is a different beast entirely. But I think for this one, it'd be sleight of hand, or animal handling, because it is a horse-drawn carriage.
I am proficient in animal handling, actually.
Same.
Somehow.
Somehow.
Uh,
So, which one of you is driving?
Hang on, we gotta roll.
Are
Wait,
we
what did you say
rolling
y'all
for
are
it?
doing it at?
and
I'm
animal
gonna roll
handling.
for it.
It's either animal handling or sleight of hand to drive the carriage.
I got
I
a
got-
natural 20.
I got a nat 1.
You're the driver. Wait, I'm not one. Oh, I need to roll two.
For animal
I
handling.
just wasted my crit for this session on.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, you're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was definitely worth it to
Whoa.
get there.
Yep.
We're gonna be able to get out of high speed chases because of you, baby. Like we're out of here.
Very true. You're
Zoom,
cutting your
zoom.
travel
Do
time
the
in
Akira
half.
slide around one of the
Oh,
corners.
Yeah,
for
Odd
fun.
is
God.
painting
With the
flames onto the
cows.
cart.
with the 80s techno music playing in the background.
I choose to
Yeah.
believe that's 100% canon, as this is how I'm going to describe this moment.
We're actually in
But-
Tron.
Yeah.
Oh, 1000%. But as you depart, originally you had, Artie at the wheel. He seemed really confident. He already got the carriage prepared. But as you begin on your way, the carriage starts speeding up faster and faster. And you assume it's to make good time. You look over at Artie, who is just stressed. You can see the white knuckling of the reins as the horse starts to make a turn directly into a wall, where Omen, you reach in, grab the reins, and fix it, managing to do the Akira slide before you destroy everything that you're currently, were provided. But it goes to a complete stop as it just very casually starts to leave the castle, or the city grounds.
I'm so sorry. I thought my command over the creatures of the night would translate to this creature of burden.
Do horses count as creatures of the night?
No, that's
Oh.
why I said I thought the skill was transferable.
Mm. They do have an evil aura.
Oh, thanks for
Do
bailing me
they?
out.
Well, I mean,
Hmm?
look at them.
Sees the horse, does a snort and looks back at you.
Oh, it looks. It was reading our minds, Omen.
Don't look it in the eye. I can
Eh.
handle
So
this if you'd
glad we
like,
have you.
Artie.
Thank you.
Its evil aura will deflect off of my mask.
Okay.
Have I ever said how much I love you three? I really do. It
All
is
the
such.
time.
Oh,
Love you.
sorry, I forgot. But I do love you. Thank you so much.
We love you, tuning in, Maisel. Omen says as fast and quietly as they can.
One of those, I don't want them to know.
I don't want them to know, but I have to say it out loud.
So, as your carriage, driven by Omen, departs the city of Relay, the stage is set, and our performers take their places. Time to save the world. But as it begins to move, you're traveling for a while, I will say. You pass the city, you pass some of the surrounding towns, and are now just in the open plains. You pass valleys, hills, and for the first couple of hours, it's relaxing. It's nice to get out of the city to kind of experience nature. So we sort of cut between each of our characters and eventually settle on Nana Maisel. Most find travel exciting. The topography can change so drastically, but after years and years of it, one might find themselves less focused on the journey and more on the destination. But for those who have centuries of it under their belt, neither holds much weight. Here, there, it's all the same. Instead, travel is a chance to reflect on the one thing you can never escape: yourself. Nana Maisel, you see fire. Metal clashes against metal. A violent struggle without end. One last day to live forever. This is where it ends. Where it always ends. Last episode, we mentioned briefly about your first adventuring party. The quest they undertook at the behest of the Crown and where they eventually met their end. Describe it to us. What did the end of that fight look like?
It would be the time that she gained the title of the Slayer of 1,000 Souls. A bloody war of many losses. Nana, upon the fire, is also reflecting on the sticky ichor of, well, blood. Hopefully most of the enemy, regrettably some of comrades who did not quite make it. And you see Nana having remembered that last slash, someone who took down one of her final friends of that original group. She took him out as revenge and then kept slashing over and over again until they stopped moving. And then only when she became sentient of what was happening, she tries to save her friend, putting her hand upon them, reaching out for some higher being outside of herself to save them, but alas, nothing comes out. And she says, no, don't go.
And you remember the feeling of it, that heartbeat as it fades beneath your hands. You feel how tightly they held on to you. And though their faces remain obscured through the lens of eternity, you remember their last words. You remember the way they looked at you like they were at peace. And they said, keep on living. Keep on living so that one day when we reunite on the other side, you have 1,000,000 stories to tell us. That was the last thing they said to you. The last thing they always say to you. And there's a part of you that just isn't sure how many times you can keep hearing it until you break. How many people you can lose in one lifetime. And you focus on that feeling of their hands clasped around your arm as the last of their life leaves you, and you wake up. You're still on the road. You have to ground yourself, but you can see a starless sky. As we cut over to the rest of the party. You've been traveling for days. Save for the setting sun, it all blends together. And you swear to the gods above you passed that same rock 3 times. But there are a few moments, few and far between, that you guys get to enjoy your time out here, away from the pressures of the city that you had left. Start with Artie. During the couple of days that you're traveling from one city to the next, what do you do with your time?
A lot of it is trying not to dwell on the weight of the like just how insane this quest is, because after leaving the city it finally dawned on him just what exactly has happened. We've gone from amateur extermination duty to entire world changing, world saving missions. Yeah, a single world saving mission, and that has shaken him. And so, in an effort to think and talk about anything else, I think he's been asking questions about, trying to figure out what everyone thinks about life and philosophy and love and friendship and all that. Eventually, he starts complaining about Brina, in the sense of like, you know what else bothered me about Brina? She was constantly brushing her long, glorious hair. It was like a thing, it was always a thing that she
Odd
had to
I
stopped
make
hate
it.
it when
brushing
people-
her hair.
I hate when people brush their hair too much. I get it.
Well, okay,
Sorry
but
for existing.
no, okay, but also at the same time,
It's
if she
a
didn't do
comfort.
it, if she didn't brush her hair, it would end up in knots and all that stuff. But it still was really annoying sometimes.
So your current complaint about your ex, the one who made you a forever living vampire, is that they brush their hair too much.
Well, when you put it like that,
I'm simply repeating. I don't hear so well, my dear. My memory isn't the way it used to be. I just want to make sure I heard you properly.
Well, Artie's been talking about it for a few hours. I feel like there's a list.
I mean, yes, but after certain points, you start getting into the real meat and potatoes of the complaint, and I think
I love meat and potatoes.
they're very good,
I'm-
aren't they?
I'm sorry. I've been talking about my. How about y'all? Do you have any exes? Nana Maisel, have you had any past flames?
Ooh, I want to hear
Oh,
this.
Omen even
Uh,
shifts in slightly closer.
You had to have macked on someone, Anna Maisel.
Do you want the short list, the long list, the flame list?
Give us the list.
Well, I don't
A
have
through
a
Z.
A through Z. There's not
Yeah.
enough letters in the common alphabet to go
Oh
through
my-
the amount of
Wow.
partners
about-
I've had.
How about if there's one or maybe a few that stand out?
You see Nana she takes a deep breath, and no matter how old she gets, it's always the first one that you remember the most. The first one that actually gets you to stop and breathe and truly remember life. The name was Devon. We met right after I escaped the dungeons. He taught me about sea life and how to sail on a boat and how to rob properly and the ethics and codes of thievery. We lived a good life. Had a child. I had several children actually. Tried to go
What?
on the
Oh,
yes.
stop. What?
Hmm?
You have hatchlings?
You were a pirate?
Did they
Yes.
have thick membranes?
No membranes for my hatchlings. Yes, I have. Well,
Odd's gonna look at Omen like there's just no way.
I have many children. Those who are my hatchlings and those who are, I guess, my flock, if you will. Some, I believe, are still among us, the living. Some are not.
Oh.
Anyway, yes, that was the first, and luckily he lived a nice long life until, well, I lived a longer one. And then, here, there, those, there. I lived in a time where the language didn't quite have many pronouns, so I didn't really care about who my partner was at the time. Common's a dumb language. Did you know that there are some human common dialects that put pronouns or like genders to chairs and tables and doors. It's really
Oh yeah, I heard they're
strange.
the French.
There's also the
Oh really? There's more of them? Oh.
oh, the human dialect. There's too many human dialects, especially with their lives are so short. It's weird. But anyway, yes, I have. At least I believe. I know at least one child that's still alive. The others, not so much. At least I don't know. And there's just you three. I mean, my friends.
Why don't we ever meet them?
Well, maybe one day, eh, when you guys are done adventuring, you'll realize that being a parent is not an easy job. And you make mistakes. Some of these children I have made dreadful mistakes raising. Some of them are completely fine without me. One's a king. But thank you. But at the end of the day, the last thing I want my children to do is worry about an old woman who's having crazy adventures.
Maybe we'll worry enough for everyone.
Maybe.
Thanks, Nana.
Wow. Yeah, thank you.
No, thank me. Y'all the ones giving the old woman outside of the house. I get to have fun things. I learned so many great things. I've not bought an egg in weeks. Oh, it's amazing. And there's another immortal just like myself. I thought I was going to be lonely forever. And every day, Omen has a new sight. It gives me so much vigor in life. I have so much to look forward to. So don't thank me. I'm just an old woman y'all are bringing along. I should be thanking you.
Well, where would we get our muffins to eat every day if we
That's
didn't have
so
you?
true.
I love you too, Omen.
Their feathers ruffle, but they don't disagree.
Speaking of which, Omen, aren't you supposed to be getting a vision at some point soon?
Yeah, no, I will.
Today?
I will definitely
Okay.
be getting a vision imminently, probably soon.
Okay. We gotta let you think on it, like
It's-
brew.
There's been something happening with Omen over the last few days. A kind of shiftiness about their visions. That it comes back again. This kind of like very quick, very sudden. I will soon, definitely soon. They will be getting a vision so soon. They can't wait. They can't wait until they get a vision. And they almost like peek up at the sky. Yeah. Please.
Not that odds very good, but the odds are very good.
Insight check me. I dare you.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. This is totally true. Everything is fine.
13 looking like.
Maybe let me roll
Like a deception.
yeah, let me roll deception.
Or performance.
Oh, true.
Because you're not trying to really deceive us to the point. It's like, not like you're lying, you're just not telling the full truth kind of thing.
Omission.
I got a
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
Omen. Omission.
Oh, omission.
My head.
No, omission.
Omission.
Omission. Well, with a passing it by 1.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you got.
Yeah, I got a
13, they got
12.
12.
As your feathers
You-
bristle, I would look over, just like get a little breeze. Ooh.
Omen is usually so very adamant about expressing their visions. Even before all of this, they would tell everyone in explicit detail, probably at length, about every aspect of whatever prophetic dream they've had. They've done no such thing since we left the capital. Either because they haven't had a dream, or they have, or something else is wrong. I think that's what you get with 1 over.
Omen, do you ever run out of brain juice?
Nope. All my juice stays in my brain.
That's good, actually. I didn't think about it like that. You're right.
Was there
Well-
another way to think about it?
I guess not all in your brain. I just mean, like, are they hydrated? Are they thinking straight?
Yes?
I'm gonna ask that again.
Okay.
Is your brain hydrated? Are you thinking straight? Telling us the truth, making sure that we can help you where you need it? Or maybe you're
Why would
not
I lie
rested
about
enough
anything?
You're stressing. That means that you're lying to us.
What?
Are you okay?
I haven't had a dream yet. Hasn't happened yet. It will happen
I lied.
very soon. I know it'll happen very soon. I just haven't been able to sleep in the nest, and the nest helps me receive the dreams from the Reaper, and usually they'll happen every night, but sometimes, Prophet can go through a period of not having many dreams, but I usually will have many dreams all the time. So it's super normal. It's super normal.
Omen, my dear Omen, it is okay. You're in a new environment, and sometimes people get performance anxiety when they're in very stressful situations.
I don't have anxiety, Nana Maisel. This is a perfectly normal reaction to a perfectly normal situation that any prophet might be in at any given time.
Yes, absolutely. But let's just say, humble an old woman for a second. That we are going through a lot of changes, a lot of stresses. You are currently driving a horse and carriage outside of your home, away from your nest. It is okay if things are not foreseen to be okay.
Well, yes, doom calls on us all eventually. The way of the Reaper, but thank you, Nana Maisel. I'm sure it will come eventually. Probably.
Well,
Are we like camped out right now? Are we at like at a campfire or something?
I love a campfire scene.
Yeah, I would say, interspersed between all the traveling, you have to give the horse a break. So, at this current
Alright.
moment, beneath, a cloudless night, the 4 of you and the horse are sat around a campfire.
I think at some point during that interrogation, Artie would have headed back to the carriage away from the fire for a few minutes. And
I
then,
think-
Okay, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you.
Unless you want to, I don't want to interrupt if you're doing something.
I'm doing something.
Okay, do your thing
do
then.
something.
Go on.
Do your something. Do your something.
Do it.
I think it's there's a point, there's something that you said of not having, the nest helping you have your dreams and all that stuff. And so Artie goes into the carriage, pulls out his trunk, and all the hoodies and cloaks and skinny jeans, and starts to just organize the corner that you organize them in the corner that you sleep in the carriage into like a little. I try to make it as bird nesty as possible. And then I come back, don't say anything. Rejoin the campfire.
I imagine later that night, when everyone eventually like comes in for bed, there's a moment where Omen comes into the carriage and it's just totally still, just completely stock still for a minute as everyone's like getting ready for bed, getting comfy. They walk over to their corner, they look at it, and then without a word, they get into it and like curl themselves up into this like strange big huddled thing. And you almost hear like a warm purr out of their throat for a moment as they snore themselves to sleep.
I was imagining like a pigeon, almost
Yeah.
pigeon.
This is currently just
Like
curled up on
doves.
Just
top.
cooing.
Yeah,
Adorably
the double
cooing.
pigeon. Big furry thing. Feathery thing.
Big furry.
Big furry.
Furry,
Big
feathery
furry
thing.
thing.
Od's been teaching you how to wild shape, I see.
Oh.
Fabulous. But as sleep finds your form, as each of you drift off after another day of travel, in this nest, in this sort of quiet pocket, Omen, you have a vision. And normally these visions seep in like a looming shadow, but this one almost envelops you in its warmth. You find yourself thrown back into the city, to the home of the Corvus. You're not sure when this is or where this is, but it is a vast stone chamber. And you see your grandmother, Erebus, and another figure whom has not been introduced up until this point. Your mother, Odyssey. You can see that they have this thick cloak of feathers, a silver jaw and tongue, and carries themselves with this almost authority bordering on masculinity, for lack of a better term. A very interesting mix of the two that commands everything else in the room, but next to your grandmother, they look so small. And they say, "I beg you to see reason, mother. Omen is not ready. They may never be." As they turn. "Fate does not make mistakes, Odyssey. One looks like a fool when you stop to question it." And they say, "But still, Omen, of all people, would Styx not be a better fit?" As they're immediately cut off. You can see there's this almost otherworldly speed to your grandmother as they are now mere inches away. Those two bird masks kind of, like, just closer than they should be. And you can see that they're staring into each other's eyes despite the sort of opaque lenses. And they say, "Enough. I have tolerated your complaints, but do not think for a second I will bend the knee to them. Omen is going. It is high time we put faith not only in our Lord, but in each other. Now leave at once." You watch as your mother relents and, "Yes, Grand Matron." You can see as they turn and leave, they walk past your elder sibling, Styx, who immediately straightens up, and it's almost like they're a child again, desperately clawing for your mother's approval. As they pass, they just let out a deep breath, and you can see sort of shrink. As the vision cuts back over, and you see your grandmother sitting alone for this huge pool of mercury. "I know you can see me, child. I bring dire tidings. I saw a shadow of things to come. I worry for our city, our family, and you. In my vision, I saw our mighty city in flames, folly and futility in the grand design. You and your party at its center. Tread carefully, child. There are more lives than your own at stake, and fate can be cruel to those that try to cheat it. I wish you nothing but safety under the eyes of our Lord the Reaper. And know that I love you." As the image cuts out. And there you are in the carriage, It's maybe 3, 4 in the morning.
And Omen wakes up with an unfamiliar word on their tongue when they wake up and they speak, that breath of coming back to half-life. If we think of sleep as an almost death, returning is an almost resurrection. And the prayer on their tongue in that resurrection is, I love you too, grandmother. And then the night, the smell of clothes, jeans, the texture, the soft chicken snoring, and the heavy breathing of Nana Maisel then pulls them back down into an endless, deep slumber.
With that, the rest of the journey from there is boring. But boring is nice when you know what's coming next. What awaits you over that hill. And as your party makes one last turn, you arrive at your destination. A city deep in the heart of a secluded valley. And it's here you understand everything is about to change. For you, for the people you love, the city you call home. And right there, emblazoned in big, blocky text, is the name of the setting of your final battle. Welcome to the city of Ersatz. It is cold. A pervasive fog blankets the world around you, making it difficult to navigate the nigh skeletal trees that pepper the valley. But you manage to maneuver your carriage until you are but a few feet from a grand city and your impending destiny. It's here that I throw the proverbial reins back over to you. What does your party do first?
Is the city mostly empty, or are there people coming in and out of the front gates?
Roll me a perception.
Oh. I will see if I perceive people or not. 16 on the dice plus 2, 18?
With an 18, you can kind of gaze past the fog, past the city gates, and into the city proper. It looks to be grand at the very least. There's, hardly any trash, there's hardly any noise. But you do see people. There's movement, these sort of amorphous shadows in the fog that seem to be going through the motions at the very least. But there is something there.
Well, at least it's not totally empty.
Evil looking, right? This is pretty bad. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the only one. Um,
I've never been outside of Relay before, so this is not normal, right? This is eerie. This is creepy. Not all cities
right.
are like this, right?
Well, no. Some cities just are either desolate or have fog.
I think this is the doom and destruction that my grandmother was talking about.
I rolled to see if I perceived this at the same time, and I got a 1. So I've had odd, just kind of sitting there, glazed over. Man, Maisel, these are the best muffins yet.
Oh, you're.
I really like the amount of sugar you put in it this time. A little grainier. Are these pecans?
Yes, I found them on the trees heading over here to side of
Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
so delicious.
Yep. Why don't you keep eating the muffin?
I will. She lays back.
Not a care in the world in the middle of this desolate wasteland.
What what is this city called?
The city is called Ersatz. Ersatz, I believe? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ersat's.
Well, it's not gonna get any doomier or gloomier if we just sit here.
Yeah, so we're trying to find out just anything we can about the dude we gotta defeat. Okay.
Well,
The great evil.
Do you think they have like their own guild system here? Do you think their
They
version of
might.
Worst House will welcome us and be able to share stuff with us?
That's not a bad idea.
let's see if we can find some friends.
Mm. Hmm.
I'm gonna send Always the pigeon out to find a good stable to put our wagon and hitch our horse.
You do so. It's not very difficult. Is this one of those moments where you see through their eyes, or are you just sending them out to go do the thing?
I'll send them out to kind of scout ahead and every few feet just check in.
Okay. About how high would you say Always is flying?
I love to imagine that Always just takes off into the air and only sees fog for like a while until Morna's like, you need to go lower into the fog. Maybe it's a little bit of a losing battle and they just end up finding the stable before Always does.
I'll say for the sake of for the sake of time, you manage to find a stable. Always doesn't really see anything. For a while, it is just fog, but you do manage to eventually land at a stable that is completely empty. Um, as your carriage sort of rides up to the city, it's kind of just on the outskirts. It's appears to be sort of like a farm of some kind. But as you grow closer, I need everyone to make me a perception check.
Well, that's a one on the die, so I'm not gonna worry about anything else.
You're also eating the muffin.
This is a good muffin.
I can't finish it. I'll just save it for later.
I got
14?
14 total.
Oh my god.
Both
Also
I-
14.
Okay.
Oh,
I got
look at
10.
this.
As you grow closer to the city, it's not as quiet. You hear the sounds of gears turning, this sort of click, 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 till eventually you realize why. You see two figures ahead, standing near the stable. At first, you think they're waving at you as they have their hands up and are just kind of moving in the fog, until eventually you grow closer and the light begins to illuminate their forms. And you do see people, two humanoids, a man and a woman, dressed pretty casually. But you watch as the light reflects off their porcelain skin, and you realize what's standing there waving at you is a porcelain doll. This is just going through the motions.
Odd loves this. If it's pointed out to her.
Yeah, I think at first it's like it already sees it and is like, oh look, maybe they know something. Ooh, that's
Nano.
not right. That's not right. That
Nano.
doesn't look right, right? And I'm like looking at odd. That doesn't look right.
Oh, I know things that don't look good. And she's looking. Whoa!
How far away from us is that thing?
Approximately like 20 feet by this point, as you've grown close enough for the light to sort of shed around you.
Now that Nana's finished her muffin, she looks at that thing, and you kind of see, like, if you're looking directly at Nana, her head kind of drops in that, like, Stanley Kubrick eye thing, where she's looking through, and it's like her hood covers the top of her face. And she's going to take in a deep breath and use one of her divine senses to detect any celestial fiends or undead within 60 feet.
You sense nothing.
Hmm.
It's just empty.
All right, children. We're going to proceed cautiously. Okay?
Proceed. I don't know. They don't look like they know anything. We don't need to go in that direction.
It's fine. It shouldn't hurt us.
We'll just park the horse behind it.
Hmm.
Omen is disgusted and intrigued. The way, again, with the kind of bird, like, it's shiny, but I don't like it. It's shiny, but I'm afraid. They do bring the horses all the way up to then park behind at the stable. They do like the full swivel, keeping eyes on those porcelain dolls.
That odd is still mimicking. She's waving back at it.
I just want you to know what the vine says lasts for a minute, just in case.
I know. You get nothing.
Very good.
You manage to park the carriage, tie the horses up, and the porcelain dolls never move more than you had already seen them. Just continue perpetual wave out into the empty. Save for Odd, who's waving back, but
She was trying to compete. My arm's getting so tired. I can't do it as long as these ones. Ow.
Let's
They win.
yeah, let's move away from this thing.
Yeah, don't want to.
Listen, if Nana Maisel doesn't want to go up and say hi, Omen doesn't want to go up and say hi.
Well, with that said, Nana does want to make sure the problem does not persist. So Nana will like hop off the cart as they're hitching the horse and will walk over slowly to it.
Wait, Nana, no.
Basket of holding, cane, clip clop, still staring daggers at this thing.
One of us go with Nana.
My arm's too tired. I couldn't throw a punch as much as I could catch it.
Okay, I'll go.
Quick, as soon as Nana gets close enough to it, she's going to hit it with her little cane.
thunk. Still just waving. Thunk, thunk. Nothing.
Nana turns back around and goes, "It's fine, everybody. It's just a thing. It's fine."
We're okay.
We're all good, Omen.
Okay, cool. I wasn't afraid. I was just making sure that you didn't get lost in the mist because you're so small.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
I was afraid. So
Okay. Not everyone in the city could be like this, right? Let's
Yeah.
go find.
porcelain?
Someone. Let's go find worst house. But worse, because it's not our worst house.
The worstest. Worster?
I don't know why I'm laughing.
I
I
love
don't
the
know why I'm
sauce.
laughing at this terrible. Oh, Odd, I love you. Gosh darn it! And you see Nana just frustrated. That made her laugh. She just starts walking into the city.
I thought you were actually angry at me.
No! That was hilarious!
I was very
The wrong
concerned.
time! Intense!
Let
So
my
you
jokes
walk-
relax you.
Do you all walk into the city?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, as the party departs, you pass under the gate and out into the pristine cobblestone streets of Ersatz. For those of you, hanging back with me, the audience, as we watch them disappear past the gate, we watch as the camera pushes in towards Porcelain Doll, the one that hit Nana, or the one that was hit by Nana, as it stops waving and just its head turns towards the city gate. So we cut back. What is your guys' plan? Are you going as a group? Are you splitting up?
If Omen wasn't Omen, they would suggest that everyone holds hands because they do not want to split up.
I can imagine that we walked into the city like the hardest rap album you ever seen, like as the fog dissipates around them. Like,
You have the
it's
scene
odd.
candlelight.
Yeah. It's odd, and then Nana and Artie stand beside, and Big Bird energy right behind them, just marching through the city slowly.
But it's definitely like praise music, like this little light of mine. I'm gonna let it shine.
Needle drop.
Yeah, I think I'm looking for the guild board. the equivalent, if this place has one, like the ones that are posted everywhere in Relay.
You find one, easy enough. You continue walking. Do you do anything, any other form of investigation, or are you just heading straight to where you think it's going to be?
I want to get out of here as fast as possible. So yes, like
All right, just hightailing it, just beeline right for the thing. All right. So as a group, you walk through the city, and this is something you kind of gather just from walking, but there are other figures on the street, and they're all ceramic too. Each and every one of them going through the facsimile of life. Some of them selling wares to other ceramic dolls, others walking their ceramic children down the street. There are even what could only be described as a ceramic date going on, as the two of them share a glass of wine that is completely empty and clinks every so often like clockwork. The sound of glass on glass that permeates through the empty streets. And as you continue walking, the sound of your footsteps is the only sound you hear till eventually you get to the city square. And you see one quest on the board. The one that you guys received. You can see, to slay Samadi.
Do we think that these things count as eggs? Because they have a shell.
Well, you need the membrane.
That is actually a terribly good question.
the
Nano will
yolk, too,
actually
right?
Nano will actually walk up to one of these mannequin doll things. Now, Lamar the player is stupid. Are these like doll-sized dolls, or are they
They're
full-size?
like full human-sized dolls.
How accurate are they? Am I looking at a petrification thing here, or are we looking at dolls?
It's really good work, but it is very much like it was built. This is like a manufactured doll as opposed to
Like it's a small world.
yeah,
Whole
we're
town makes
small world, but a little less creepy.
Somehow, yeah.
Somehow.
I don't think it's
They
creepy
are
at all.
all sort of individualized, like they're dressed differently. It's not like a carbon copy thing, but they are all made of ceramic. You
Okay.
can see past the sort of plating. There's like, little bits of clockwork gears and rivets and bolts that kind of click into place as they continue going through their motions, kind of going back and forth, just in this sort of perpetual eternity of life.
Heard. Okay. Well, they seem to be some type of mechanical machine. At least they're not stuck people.
I have a move called Occult Studies, which helps me make checks to recall or interpret information about celestials, fiends, or creatures with the outsider tag. Have I ever heard of or seen anything like this?
I will say,
I can also just technically what it gives me is a roll with advantage, so I could roll first and then.
yeah. roll
Cool.
with advantage, and I'll give you what I give you after that.
All right,
Give you what I
10
give you.
or 6. So I'll take the 10 plus investigation.
Yeah, this would be investigation or history.
Okay, that's 14 total.
14. That is just enough. It's not so much you remember something about a monster or some kind of horrible eldritch abomination. This harkens you back to a little bit. Some information that was made relevant to you before you were born, essentially. A long time ago, before this huge hero system was in effect, there was a villain. There was a grand sort of plot, an artificer who had amassed this huge army of ceramic lifelike dolls to conquer the world, who were then defeated by a noble group of heroes. This is very similar to that, at the very least. So this is something that's happened before, but they're not doing anything harmful. They're just moving.
For a ceramic army, there doesn't seem to be much of a army happening here, which is maybe a good sign. It's like that old story.
And
You know, this-
Go ahead.
An army of constructs. Defeated by a powerful group of heroes.
Do you think that an army implies a general?
Probably.
Usually like spears and stuff too. But they've got wine glasses and cabbages.
So
Well, not to be too morbid, but people rarely talk about what happens to warriors once the war is done. Most of them go home, get mundane jobs, and live mundane lives.
Oh. You don't think that these are the remnants of that army? Archie?
Yes.
did someone do you think there's someone still controlling this former porcelain army?
I think
I'm ass-
Omen points to the name on the quest list that's the single thing up on the board.
Oh,
If I had to guess, I bet somebody's controlling these things.
If not the person related to our quest, then someone who at least knows about it.
Can we bust one open? See what makes it
Mhm.
tick? Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm trying
There's
to think.
nobody here.
okay.
In order to scramble an egg, you have to break it?
Mm-hmm. How else are you gonna tell if it's good on the inside or if accidentally it was not yet a baby?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You ever cracked an egg? Oof. Wow. Sorry.
The one that Nana was looking at, she will immediately just kind of like punch and try to break it.
Roll an attack.
She's
I'm gonna
not
love
trying
this.
to-
I'm gonna love this. They're all gonna turn on. They're gonna come after us. This is
Oh,
great.
absolutely.
iRobot incoming.
That's 15 on the die plus another 5, dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Roll damage.
Oh, that's her fist. It'd actually be 18. And then if she just used her fist, it'd be 3 points.
It's not enough to like eviscerate this thing, but you do manage to crack the porcelain as wham! You watch it. Which doll do you hit?
Let's say it's the doll, the wine drinking doll.
The wine drinking doll?
Yeah.
Alright, so one of the two. The other one is still none the wiser, continues clinking glasses with the person who's no longer there. But as you kind of just right hook this like doll, you watch as the faceplate kind of breaks inwards and it falls to the ground, lifeless.
The entire thing?
You kind of knock it out of its chair.
Is it still locked in its former position?
Or does it go limp?
Yeah, the question is, does it ragdoll or does it just fall?
Oh, it ragdolls. You watch as there's this sort of glow from underneath the plates that dims and then fades. As originally it's kind of stuck in that position, but then
Nana will immediately turn towards the group and says, I believe we should leave these fine people alone and continue to walk forward. They're not human, don't worry, but they seem to be pretty
But
sturdy.
like mechanically.
Very,
do it
very
on the
mechanical.
inside?
Yes.
wanna
do me a
look at
favor.
it?
Roll me a perception check.
God dang it.
Did you say everyone or
Everyone.
everyone?
Perception.
Oh, that's good.
18 for Omen.
Oh,
Okay, I
can't
rolled-
see jack.
I rolled a 19, but I have a -1 to perception, so I also got 18. See,
Alright.
Hey,
I
Wow.
also
matching,
rolled a
matching.
19, but I have a +5.
Oh,
So
damn.
24?
Maisel.
16.
You all get this, but I would say Odd is the first to notice, as there's just the sound of, for lack of a better term, if those of you have seen Doctor Who, the sound of the Cybermen marching, just
oh,
yeah, you hear that approaching from all of the alleyways, as one individual ceramic that is not customized whatsoever walks up, and there is a solid 20 seconds as they kind of crowd around you that they just stare. And you can feel that tension build until eventually they get down to their knees and pick up the ceramic doll and start walking up towards the back of the city. As they just kind
We
of
should
carry
definitely
violence.
follow them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know we should. I know we should. I just wanted to let everyone know that I don't like it.
I also don't like it.
That's fair and valid. As Nana starts following them.
Okay.
So, as you walk further and further into the city, that scene is but a small cog in the machine of this entire place. There are truly dozens, hundreds, if not thousands of these same machines in all of the various buildings, each playing out a snippet of a life. Some of them seem to be school children that are just learning a lesson from a robot that is currently pointing at the board that says nothing on it. There are, in fact, some adventuring types that are kind of celebrating in the taverns, but, you know, there's nothing in their goblets. They're just celebrating nothing, really. As you continue to follow this group of automatons that walk further and further in, they eventually lead you to what appears to be a large castle. You can see it's sort of on the hill that overlooks the entire rest of the city. You see as they go through what appears to be a service entrance, as they just leaving it sort of to slowly close behind them.
Omen has, I think, been marching almost in step with, like, trying to blend in with them the best that they can, and is going to try to, since they're tall, reach up to the slowly closing thing and try to just keep it up to make sure that everyone passes through.
Alrighty. Roll me a strength check. Just to
Ooh.
kind of keep it from closing a little bit slower than it already was.
12 minus 1, 11.
It's
They're
not
tall,
enough to
but
make
not strong.
significant progress, but like you're kind of keeping it just long enough for the rest of the party to go through. As the door shuts behind you, you four are sort of left in darkness. You can still hear them marching, but you're not sure where they're going.
Are we still
Artie.
following?
Can your vampiric senses lead us through this dark tunnel?
Yeah, I can try. Can I use my survival stat to be able to track and navigate unknown territory?
Sure. I'll say yeah, you can use survival.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's a 14.
14. This is a unfamiliar place. You kind of go off of the sound of them marching as you're led down tunnel after tunnel. What seems to be barely enough room for really Omen, as you kind of have to crouch down. They are made specifically for this like group of robots to, drag their fallen comrades through the castle. As you begin to make different turns, you're not quite sure where you're going. You're just kind of going off of the echoes at this point, until eventually you come across what appears to be a door. You see a bit of light peeking underneath.
Okay. This is where it takes us.
I have a quick question for the group.
Yeah.
Just, are we gonna just kind of do our normal, like, rat extermination plan, kind of, when we get to Samadi? Like, we'll just kind of do what we normally do when we go down into the basement of taverns. We'll just That's what we're gonna do, right? To defeat the dark evil doom of the world. It's just my grandma said that there was some real destruction and
In fighting an enemy that may be stronger than your army, you rely on your intelligence to give you an upper hand. I highly suggest that we try to understand what we're going against before we start to exterminate.
Yeah. And maybe we can just be like, hey, Samadi, you know, we understand you a little bit better. Can you not? Maybe we can talk to Samadi. I doubt
you could
everyone,
drink all his blood.
Oh yeah.
I could do that. That would be a lot of blood.
Well, from a normal person.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to prepare. I'd imagine more powerful beings have more powerful blood, so I just need to make sure that it doesn't take me over.
Let us know if we can help, okay?
You don't want to
Okay.
get indigestion in the middle of the battle.
No.
No.
Mm.
No.
Tummy aches are the worst.
Let's see what's on the other side of this door, yeah?
All right. Who's doing it?
Omen is open to the door.
Oh, just kidding. Odd follows quickly.
As you
Stumbling
push
block.
the door open, it's less a door and more of like a service entrance. You can see that as you kind of poke your head around, it's part of the wall, part of this sort of mosaic, that kind of like this fresco. As you begin to walk forward, you find yourselves in a throne room. This glorious thing, the true entrance, kind of off to the left. There are these huge marble pillars. You can see torch sconces that are unlit, entire tapestries depicting an entire rise of this vainglorious god, this monster that has sieged entire universes. And as you begin to walk forward, who's in front? Is it still Omen?
Odd is following right behind Omen.
Alrighty, the two of you, I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Just kidding. I take that back.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, just leave Omen to do it. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, don't. Okay, fine. I'm back again. Ah.
A gentleman's 8.
Gentleman's 8.
Frontline
You
fighters.
said
let's
dexterity?
go.
Do you say gentleman for also 11?
I'll say gentleman for 11, yeah. You, Odd, kind of like skirt around. You don't really notice anything, but Omen, as you're sort of walking through this space, this huge cathedral almost, you can see stained glass along the like roofing, that sort of like Michelangelo-esque painting up like Sistine Chapel-esque across the top. You can see tiny bits of light peeking through. You are just distracted enough to not notice a dip in the floor as you press down and a pressure plate depresses and you hear a click. You all see it in turn. There, right at the sort of apex of the room, sitting atop a throne in all his rotted glory, is a human man dressed in golden armor. You see Samadi. You see this visage of undeath, a mad god risen once more, slumped over motionless, as they are currently just 1,000 yards staring at the door. But as you hit the pressure plate, they raise to life, and you hear them almost begin the latter end of a villain's speech, as they say, People like to take comfort in the idea that man is made in the image of gods, when the reality is quite the opposite. Gods become a reflection of the people they protect. Jealous, fractured, broken. And you can see as they get up from their chair and start to walk, circling no one. Kind of go through the motions as the four of you are kind of off to the side. He pauses for an inordinate amount of time, staring down at nothing, until eventually he responds. You thought they would unite behind you, that the sins of the past would shepherd them to a brighter future, but they fought, betrayed each other like they always do. And that's because you've managed to overlook one key factor in all this, is that you're all so broken. As you can see now, the torches all around burst to life, lighting the interior of the space. You can see now, coming from nowhere are these voices, these sort of anguished cries. I need everyone to make me a perception check.
10.
4,
15.
15,
7.
7. Alrighty. So Nana Maisel, you would be the only one to really notice this. It's kind of hard to tell, but you've experienced, dissonant whispers before, things brought up on by magic. This isn't magic. You hear as the languished voices whisper, "Help us, please!" It doesn't sound magical, it sounds tinny. It sounds like someone speaking into a can. As you watch the figure sort of rise to their glory, back up to the chair, you can see as it almost starts to crack under the weight of something, his power maybe. You can see these sort of like glowing tendrils that wrap from beneath this almost living throne. Look at you, the widow, the would-be god, the failed champion, the monster, and you, the lonely shepherd. I will rob you of your delusions. As they sort of summon that glaive, as it kind of rises from the floor as they grab it. It's the one from your vision when you had first taken on this quest. As he says, I am your death. I need everyone to roll initiative.
I thought he was going to say, I am your daddy.
Who is
Oh.
your pappy?
Luke.
Not bad start.
8 for Omen.
Oh, my dice fell off the table.
So it counts.
19.
Alright.
Oh, I have an ability that says aware. Initiative rolls are at least 10. So I rolled a 4 again, so it's a 10.
Alrighty. 10.
Nice.
That's a nice ability.
Which leaves us
Yeah.
with odd. What'd you get?
An even 6.
Even 6. Alrighty. So, first up is you, Maisel. What do you
Oh,
do?
yeah,
You watch
ready.
as they charge, kind of in your general direction. While the four of you are kind of off to the side, they seem to be in the middle of something, as a fight has essentially been triggered. What do you do?
You said our general direction?
Your general direction, yes.
What Nana's going to do is, sensing immediate danger and hearing those whispers, you see Nana immediately move so that she's in front of the party. And at a rare sight, she throws her cowl over, and you finally see the rickety, old, rusted, heavy armor that she's been carrying. And she throws her cane and her basket of holding down, and it's like immediately a shield, a golden, silvery shield with like spiderweb decorations on it, shows up in her arm, and on the other hand, a long sword seems to appear almost out of nowhere from underneath it. And she says, "Stay behind me!" As she's actually going to not do anything, but just move in front of the group. And then if something happens, she will use reactions. Because you
Alright.
did not say at us, you said towards us.
That I did.
Clarification.
What's your armor class, Nana?
Nana's armor class is. Oh, this is gonna hurt. Where the heck is it? Hold on. Oh, 18.
18. Alrighty. So, as you kind of stand guard, you watch as Samadi is charging in your direction and then turns and swipes at the air. You see as this sort of this battle plays out, this one-sided choreography as swings down and immediately takes a hit from something that isn't there, as it kind of goes flying across the room back towards you, and it is going to... I need everybody to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Come on, Nana.
13.
13.
Food.
15.
11.
15. 11.
1, but plus 2, 3.
Alrighty. So, it's just you who got below 10.
Yeah, it's pretty short down here. It's not a lot of people.
Alrighty. So for the rest of
Lonely.
y'all, you watch as somebody takes their glaive and slams it into the ground, again making these sort of death eyes, the stare towards the furthest wall. As they slam their glaive down, you watch as the floor begins to shift, and this sort of rising of pillars, this tidal wave comes towards you. Very, very slowly, as 3 of you manage to get out of the way, but Odd, you're kind of distracted by what's going on and kind of trip over. You take 1 damage as you are sort of knocked to the floor and your knee hits the sort of the tile.
Oh, what?
As they continue, I will not be left behind. Every conflict, every enemy originates from me and me alone, as they continue this fight, responding, quipping against people that aren't there. As
I think
just
at this point, like out loud, Artie goes, "What is happening?"
Omen is watching this play out, and at first, just like a vision, like a prophecy, like a beautiful narrative woven for the storybooks, their destiny, their purpose, their fate. And then it's too perfect, like a story written from a prophecy for the storybooks. And half the cast is missing. Omen, in response to you, Artie, says, I have no fucking idea.
God damn it, see!
Real
So
straight and
one-liner for
narrow.
today.
Yeah.
alrighty. So, that brings us, Artie, to your turn. That kind of conversation, free of charge. What do you do during this moment as it's currently just now locking glaive with a sword, presumably?
Does this look like an arena of sorts?
This, I would say, make me an investigation check.
Okay, yeah, because I what I want to do here is find a spot that isn't, I don't know, like sort of out of bounds of whatever is going on here, and stand there and move there. 17 plus, hold on, where's my investigation? It's bad. 17 minus 1, 16.
17 minus 1. Okay. With that, you manage to... what you think... Maybe? It's hard to know where's safe in a space like this, considering all of it is technically part of the stage,
Mm-hmm.
for lack of a better term. It's not really arena-esque, but it is very, set-dressed.
Okay.
I don't think it's really, far-fetched to say that, Artie's a bit of a theater kid.
Yeah, so I think in that case, I'm just gonna calmly walk up to where he was sitting before. Because how often during a battle do you sit down, for time out? So I'm just gonna stand there and just watch.
You do that. I will say with your investigation check, you get a bit more of the bigger picture.
Ooh, okay.
this arena, this throne room is set dressed in quite literally the most, definitive of terms.
Mm-hmm.
What was once maybe pristine stonework, after years and years, it's made to look old, but it isn't. It's not solid. It's kind of gives off that sort. Yeah, you get. Well, it's very like pop-up town, for lack of a better term, like Nuketown-esque, in the sense that everything here was maybe placed here like a year ago.
So yeah, like Tech Crew did a really good job on this.
Yeah,
setting. Okay.
It looks super old. You could see all the various visual effects, and that is what they are, visual effects. You can see the glow. You can see stones moving, shifting, a few pyrotechnics here and there, but it's all part of the show. As you kind of just sit on the throne watching, somebody, this great evil, begins to admonish more, continuing off on this preset track as they continue. No. How did you find that? My power, it... As they go flying across the room and hit the nearest wall. I will say make a dexterity saving throw.
Dang ye old medieval times. Are we in the middle of ye old medieval
Go black and
times?
white knight. Woo. Throw me the rose.
Got a 12.
12? It doesn't take a lot. That was really just to avoid the debris as kind of collides with the wall and you watch as some of the stone just kind of...
Stone, it's like styrofoam.
Yeah, it is. You do notice there is that smoke, but it does not match the stone. It's just, it's like the Waterworld pyrotechnic show at Universal. It's like it's kind of it's not fun. But is that the rest of your turn?
Yeah. I think if we're able to like what's it called? Prepare an action, right?
Yeah.
If something comes towards my direction, I'd like to sidestep it, if anything, or take the dodge action.
All right.
Okay.
So that brings us to, I believe, Omen, because I think, yeah.
I'm going to use my turn to ask you a really important question.
Absolutely.
How many members of the Platinum Cross are there?
5.
Omen's just kind of standing there, watching the scene play out. They have read hundreds of beautiful accounts on the back of eggshells, written in like blood and the blackest ink from a raven feather. The prophecies all denoted, the stories, the choreography, the moments, the quips back and forth. They've read all of them. They've studied all of them. And they're just watching it play out now. And this feeling that is so unfamiliar in Omen starts to rise up in them. This rage, betrayal. And I think they just look at Odd and go, fetch, or foul. I don't know.
You're too... What?
Throw an egg at him!
Ah! Use her next turn, then.
Absolutely. Go for it. Is that
Reaching
the rest of your
over.
turn?
Yeah, it's my whole turn.
Alrighty.
Yeah, she's gonna grab an egg. I don't know if we ever wrote this into my character sheet. I know we did it in the unrecorded ones. Do you remember what my egg damage would be?
I think it was like a D6, I want to say. Just, depends on how hard you throw it. It has like magical properties, for lack of a better term.
Awesome. Roll for egg.
Roll for
Right?
egg.
Well, I actually have it in my attacks as egg splat. I just don't have any of the other things written down, I guess.
This would be a regular ranged attack, and it would be a D6 plus strength, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, 13.
13.
everything else in this place has been pretty low AC, so.
As you toss the egg, is this like a wild magic? Is this just an egg, or what is the vibe here?
There was no clarification, and I just kind of grabbed, so I don't know.
Roll me a d4. Evens, we'll say it's a regular egg. Odds, it's a wild magic egg.
I see
Sounds
what
like
you did
me.
there. I see what you did there.
Brilliant. 2.
So that would mean it is a regular egg. So you kind of toss it over. It collides with the side of its head and roll damage.
Whew. Nailed it.
Okay, wait. Hold on. A regular egg in this scenario is a non-wild magic egg, but these are not regular eggs, right? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
These are just non-magical, but they are very strangely solid eggs.
They
They're
are
very
odd.
regular odd eggs.
Yes.
How much damage?
5.
5. Watch as the egg kind of splatters across the, well, for Somebody's face. You can see some of the ceramic starts to chip. What you thought was skin is painted on, as some of the prosthetics, the dressing kind of falls away, and there are now just eggshells embedded in it, seemingly not noticing. However, you manage to knock it off by just a bit from its axis. You watch as it was kind of going on this predetermined track, this choreography, until eventually you hit it with an egg and kind of got turned around as you watch as it strikes through one of the columns and then turns towards you. Assuming
didn't
if you
do
had not hit
that.
it would have been kind of off to the side, but it is now on a one-way trip towards you, which brings us back to Nana Maisel.
Wait. I wanted to say also, because I meant to say this earlier, but my heritage it's called cottage, and I have this ability of comforts of home. And this is what I was doing earlier with Omen, because with this, as a part of our long rest, I can cook a meal or tell stories or perform with another creature. So as long as I had done that with y'all, I could have done it with everybody, but I guess, it took too long. So
I'll say for the
unfortunately,
sake of
only
it, you
Omen.
managed to kind of
Would you?
over time you would have.
Okay, then lovely. Then
Yeah.
each
Showing
of
off the system.
you,
What does it do?
then because you can choose a number of creatures, so I guess it's up to your role play aspect. Who
Mm.
participated in that long rest? You get equal to my proficiency bonus, and this can include
Twice.
myself. And then those creatures gain temporary HP equal to twice your proficiency bonus.
Ooh, nice.
Mm.
Yeah, they're temporary and last until unexpended or until you complete your next long rest. So that would be
Oh,
a
yeah.
+4 to everybody.
Amazing.
nice.
Thank you.
You're
Perfect.
very
right.
welcome.
Thank you.
So, back up at the top of the order, Nana Maisel. You watch as this automaton is still sort of in the middle of it. It almost seems to exist outside of your initiative order since it is technically not part of your combat. However, it is just kind of tossing what can only really be described as spells as a few sections of the castle start to explode. You can see some of the stone clatter against the ground, these sort of technicolor explosions, but it is your turn.
Nana is going to just calmly walk over to Samadi. And she don't look back at the group, look around at everything, and just kind of like swing at it.
Go for it. Roll an attack.
But like, it's not with the same anger and venom she had before. It's more of a pure confusion. That is a natural 20.
Jesus. Roll damage.
Let's go. I rolled dice twice, so +3, 17 points of damage.
All right, 17 points of damage. That's far more damage than this thing is going to survive. You swing through it. It's in the middle of another admonishment, another quote, going to be or not to be, that kind of vibe. However, you bisect it with your sword, and it just The legs are still moving, but the torso is kind of just continuing those same motions.
What?
As you see this, you see Nana just kind of slowly put her sword away, slide the shield backward to her back, throw the cowl back over, hood up. And she'll just start leaning forward again like she's a little old lady and just turn towards the group going, I'm a little confused, my dears.
That makes two of us at least.
Also, can someone please give me my cane? I can barely move like this.
You're muted, Sam.
Says it's
Up, you were up. Try it again.
All right, one more.
There you go. That's
got
good.
It says it's, and then you muted. it.
Whoa. Discord's got my buttons on like backwards. To me,
Oh.
it's noted as off.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's weird. That's
Did
odd.
you say that's odd?
Ooh.
Woo. Oh no.
Everybody make me one last perception check.
Where'd my dice go? There it is.
15.
13.
13.
23.
Alrighty. You all notice this as somebody has sort of stopped talking. You gather this is the point in the fight where he would have lost, as he just, I want to go home. As he kind of reaches up towards the throne. At least what you think would have been the throne, but is actually kind of off to the side, one of the pillars, maybe out a window. As his body starts to glow, and I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
Anybody near the body will say, which would probably be Maisel right now, unless anybody else walked up.
And that one did.
Oh wait, near the body? I'm by the
Yeah,
throne.
yeah, so this would not be you.
9.
9. 1. Alright. You both take 10 points of fire damage as both the top and bottom half explode. You can see there's this sort of column of light, that same vibe of a main villain being defeated in all of their glory, as it's just kind of blinds you for a second and the body sort of disintegrates. You two are just close enough where, like, oh, okay, all right. And you manage to take that damage from the sheer heat of the explosion. Artie, you are sitting on the throne. After the light clears,
Mm-hmm.
and the sort of smoke starts to billow up, you notice that he was probably supposed to be sitting somewhere near here.
Oh.
In this general vibe.
Okay.
And you note that there's this huge smoke screen from possibly what would have been the aftermath of the explosion,
Mm-hmm.
as the throne begins to sink into the floor, silently.
Oh, something's happening.
You guys watch as the throne sinks into the
Ow.
ground.
And
Ah,
I'm going with it.
You guys know.
Help.
Nana's going to quickly run, get her basket of holding, grab her cane, and just bolt towards Artie. Clearly never needed it in the first place.
Alrighty. The other two, what you doing?
Omen is, I think they got thrown back a little bit by the explosion blast, and they're kind of like picking themselves up slowly off the floor, stumbling for a minute because 10 damage to a warlock. It was fine. I'm fine. But they kind of like tip a little bit, and they're stumbling after, not nearly as fast as Nana Maisel.
Oh, Odd would try to help you. You're leaning on nothingness, basically, but she's trying to hold you up. Like a kid taking a picture next to the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah, they like trip over you for a minute because they don't. And they're like, oh, there you are.
Hard to do with the adjusted height. As you begin to walk over, you each kind of... It's not exactly descending quickly, it's just moving.
Oh,
You
okay.
gather it's probably to remove what might be that, like, whatever evidence there is of this creature away, or, to maybe be some kind of end result, who knows.
Mm-hmm.
But as the throne begins to sink, you see above a chute kind of, or like a cover closes. A trap door as you begin descending further and further. Maybe 10, 20, 30, now 50 feet. It's pitch black in here as eventually it comes to a stop. And there's maybe a minute, 2 minutes of you just sitting in complete darkness. You can hear the sounds of metal clicking all around you, those same gears, that same mechanism.
Hello?
It's eventually, in front of you, a door opens and you see a workshop. You can see this changeling, this, real kind of skinny looking guy, big spectacles, writing down in a notebook as he walks up. You hear a rattle of chains, and you notice it's because around his ankle is a manacle and a chain that leads outwards as he starts pulling it along. All right, back to the drawing board. So eventually we're going to have to, get big and better, probably more.
Excuse me? Hello?
Who the hell are you people?
Who the hell am I? Who are you?
No one. Are you with the Platinum Cross?
We're on this quest to save the realm and defeat Samadi.
Shit! As they kind of start scrambling around and try to gather up some stuff.
No.
They start running.
Yeah, I'm
I throw an
chasing
egg
them.
to
Omen goes
trip 'em.
after them.
All right. It's not hard to do. The man is chained to the floor. He has maybe a little bit of give as he gets to one of the other things. He's kind of going along a track. It does allow him to leave the room, but it's not fast. As you kind of grab onto him, he's like, no, please.
That freaky bird is like there on him.
Nightmare.
Kind of holds his hands up.
Did you make this? And I think they have a piece of the sword that Samadi was wielding when it got egged and like split in half. They like grabbed a little piece of it when they were getting up from the floor. Did you make this?
That's it's privileged information. Production only. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave the premises.
Are those scripts?
Kind of starts reaching over. No.
Give me that.
No. You managed to grab it.
And I read it out loud. I repeat what's on there.
You get the Chronicles of Samadi, this vast, this huge lore document, something, in another world D&D people would receive, but it is an entire breakdown of the stats, of the moves, of their entire backstory, all sort of fabricated and placed in this sort of digestible format. And you see dozens of them. There are various monsters, creatures, elder gods, vampire lords. It's an entire, it's a whole thing, a whole production. And on a whiteboard, you see individual names crossed out. And I would say, actually, Omen, roll me a history check at advantage.
Oh.
This is the angriest history check I've ever made in my life. Reading my notes. That is 13.
It's not difficult to know this. You have been around them for long enough. The names that are crossed out are all of the previous monsters and villains and creatures that the Platinum Cross has been taking on for their grand yearly quest.
Raggedy mother.
You see the figure kind of... please don't hurt me. I don't... It kind of backs up a little bit.
Don't you dare say you're just a little guy. I'm not gonna fall for it.
How deep does this go? How deep does this go?
All the way. It goes all the fucking way.
The guild system? All of it?
Kind of looks over at you and is unsure whether or not to say anything.
Where do you keep looking? Where?
That's when Nana will walk over to him, kneel down, gets really close. Goes, hello, my dear. I am an actual monster.
Yeah.
You need to start talking.
Yeah, you're gonna have to roll for that. That fucking went hard. As okay. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Okay. Well, my name is Vale. I'm an artificer. I'm a creator. I'm friends, or was friends, with the Platinum Cross, and this whole thing is just one long joke that shouldn't have gone on this long. He kind of motions to the chain. It was them who wanted to be famous. They wanted to be heroes, and I just wanted to see them succeed. So I built them this, as he kind of motions over to like this whole sort of almost like, writer's room. You can see bottles and half-eaten sandwiches, models and maps and blueprints. I thought that, if I could build them monsters to defeat, it could get them opportunities in the future. But when they found out, they didn't want those opportunities. They wanted comfort, so they just kept me doing this. And yeah.
That's worse. That's diabolical.
Aren't jokes meant to be funny?
I mean, originally it was, their first villain was me. I, played the part of this mad inventor that marched on his army of automatons. I never hurt anyone, though. But when they beat me, they ruined my life. They told everyone who I was. And this is all I have left.
I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the fuck out of this chain. And I think that Omen doesn't really even know what they're doing. It's just they're riding pure adrenaline and impulse right now. I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the chain out of the ground.
It's not difficult, as you just kind of let loose this sort of purplish bolt that streaks through the air and shatters the chain as he as he kind of starts trying to put the ends back together. So if they find out you were down here, I'm good.
Vale?
Vale. Who are you people?
We were the ones sent on this quest. We kind of stole it from the Platinum Cross.
Oh no. Okay. The quest is never meant for anyone other than the Platinum Cross. We make sure of it. We have the whole system in check for this exact thing. Brimsley,
Vale. Do you want to get out of here? Because this is not fair to you. It's not fair to anyone. Do you know what's going on in Relay?
No, I've been here for over a decade. I don't really know if I want to leave. I don't know what's out there for me. This is all I am now.
Is this the person I saw in my vision?
Yes.
I have a small idea. And I'm going to admit, it is technically an evil idea. We can take over this position, make worst house the best house, keep the secret, and work with our new friend here. Or, which is technically a better, more noble plan, we expose the gilded bastards for what they've done. We take them out ourselves and be the true hero. Either way, we look good.
I like that a lot.
I like it too.
It's got the drama of an actual quest.
Out of character. Omen, did you tell us about your latest dream that you had with your grandmother, or is that private?
They told you bits and pieces.
Mm.
No, they told. I think what they had said was that their grandmother had sent them a vision warning them of the doom and the despair to come
Interesting.
at the hands of Samadi.
We could be real heroes, like Nana Maisel said. But I think we have to be careful about it, because if the Platinum Cross, they know what we would have found here, and they would be expecting us to go back and tell everyone, and they can just play it off like we're insane or we're cowards and we didn't actually fight Samadi.
We need you to come with
Bold
us.
of you to assume that we would let you get that far.
God.
Shit!
As you hear over the intercom and lights start to brighten, shining down at your party, the door that you had entered through closes. As Vale just kind of cowers under the table. I'm sorry. As you hear not so much a familiar voice, maybe one you've heard in passing, but you see up a viewing chamber, and there are 5 figures standing, one in platinum armor, a human who says, "You know, I'm surprised when you managed to steal from us, but stranger things happen every day. So I thought, why not? I don't get that far and we could swoop in and take over, but somehow they managed to give you a shot. And that might be the cruelest thing about all this, because if you just aimed lower, we might not be here." Vale, you're back in your room. As kind of still cowering under, he grabs the chain, kind of starts walking over very slowly. Kind of just looks down at each of you, kind of leaving you in this chamber.
That's the vilest deed.
I have to ask, what did you think would happen? What did you genuinely think would happen taking on a quest like this? Even if it wasn't this. Truth be told, I think we saved you from a far worse fate.
Nana just smiles. Not the generally warm, motherly smile she's had for a long time. More of the tyrant queen that she used to be. And he says, "You know, when my dear children started this particular quest, I knew we was insane. And what I was looking forward to was a chance for death to finally earn me. But now that we're here, and I see nothing but a circus made for dumb, weak, broke, punk ass bitches, I think what's going to happen is that we're going to fuck you up. So why don't you come down here and catch these hands, my dear?"
Or stay up there.
It's not very much motivation to come down there, is it? As you hear a button click, and gas starts to seep into the room. You hero types are so interesting. Truth be told, I think I did your job better. I gave them everything they ever wanted. A story of 1,000 dreams forged with my very own hands.
Liar. You fucking liar. You've been lying to everyone. You've been, and the smoke. Omen starts swaying a little, but they bite it out. You fucking liar. You've been manipulating everyone. You disgust me. I hate you.
It's a shame you feel that way. Your sibling was a lot more amenable to the whole situation. But all it really took was change in perspective. So, you could die down here, but at the very least you seem cut above the rest. Think long and hard about this. Everything we do is meaningless. Save the world once, you're a hero. Save the world 100 times, and you're unemployed. Our success is our very own extinction. Hundreds of guilds feed a system that renders them obsolete over time. Diminishing returns. It's not enough to share the glory, you have to take it all for yourself. They eat when I say they can. They starve because I deem it so. Because otherwise the whole system collapses. But for what it's worth, I'm sure you all could have been great. As the gas begins to seep further in. Maybe we'll revisit this conversation next year. Perhaps then, you might be a little more open to the possibilities. As everyone, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Seven.
2. Oh wait, +4. 6.
6.
I rolled a 19, but I want to fail.
That's fair. I have something for that. And finally, Odd?
12.
12. So the other 3, that being Odd, Maisel, and Artur, you're sort of focused on the betrayal. You're focused on trying to find a way out. As you kind of scatter, your vision begins to cloud
until eventually all 3 of you fall unconscious. For Omen, you last a bit longer. The mask is helping quite a bit, but it's not enough. As your breath becomes heavier, your eyelids start to close, and the last thing you see are the Platinum Cross sharing a drink over your defeat. But with your 19, you get, a brief moment to do or say whatever you wish.
They reach their hand up, and from their shoulder, always, the pigeon takes flight up and out into a little nesting hole amongst high up away from the gas.
Which is sort of perches, and through those sort of glassy eyes is left to watch as you fall unconscious. And the last thing you hear is, well, back to the drawing board, I suppose, as they all walk away. And that is where we're going to end this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching episode 3 of The Worst Heroes You Know. It's a bit of a doozy. I've been sitting on this reveal for 3 episodes.
Wow.
I'm so excited.
God damn it!
I am HamaSamaKun, your dungeon master for this evening. Be sure to check out Tales of the Valiant, a system released by Kobold Press, a very fun game for very fun people. You can catch me at HamaSamaKun doing all of my various shenanigans, most likely on this channel, or the TikTok page that you get this clip on. Who knows? Or if you're watching this on, farmersonly.com, why? I'm going to toss it over to Kappa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kappa. Christian's okay too. I played Artie Basil Kane, our resident fake vampire. This episode was a really, really fun one. If you want to catch me on the internet, best way to do that is to find the Kappa Chris on whatever social media that you are using. Whatever I'm up to, you can catch up there. That's it.
Popcorn it.
Well, I'll throw it over to Sam.
The popcorn.
Yeah.
I'm Sam, pronounced she, her. I played your lovely little odd, also pronounced she, her. And you can find me pretty much anywhere at Just Sam, JUSTSEUM, unless it's like newer stuff like Blue Sky and things. And it's Sam because I'm quick. So I got SEUM, which is also my
Nice.
Twitch handle. Yeah. And I just have to say, this would normally I would say for like the stars and stuff, but I wanted to say something to Nana or about what Nana said and talking about how warriors come back after war in mundane lives and they're working toward that. My day job is also working with Wounded Warrior Project, which is a nonprofit, and we work exactly doing that. Like you almost made Sam cry. So thank you for not forgetting about them. I'll give you a second to breathe. See.
Howdy, y'all. My name's C. I use they, them pronouns. And I have not wanted to bite my microphone like that in a hot minute. I played Omen, who uses they, them pronouns, whose pronouns have been shifted to what the fuck? So deeply changed by this episode. You can find me making very transfer gayer on the. I just have to do my normal spiel because I am processing. You can find me making very transfer gayer on the internet at cplaysrpg. You can always find me on Saturdays at 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time on Transplanar RPG. We make really cute merch now. So check out transplanerrpg.shop if you want some of that. It's really cute. It's what I've been up to. Otherwise, check out the Chaos Protocol Arc 3 and just follow me on all of the social medias at cplaysrpg to figure out what I'm up to, because I'm up to something. I'm up to causing problems. And I'm going to pass it over to Lamar.
To lots, losses, both, neither, and everyone in between. My name is Lamar, aka Lamar the Con Guy. I go by he, him pronouns. And I am playing everyone's lovable, crazy, gangsta-ass, badass chick, Nana Maisel, who goes by that bitch pronouns. She, her. I'm having... I love this so much. This is something that doesn't happen in tabletop RPGs so much, where we have a group that legitimately like is rescuing each other and a goddamn DM who actually surprised me. You actually surprised me with this twist. I haven't been like truly horrifyingly surprised in a long time, and I love it so much, and I hate you. I wish you non-physical harm for what you have done to me. And I hope you stub your toe just a little bit. Not enough to be truly painful, but just to know that maybe I should just clip my nails a little bit. That kind of stubbing, because this was such a wild ride, and I knew the only thing I knew is that you was gonna leave it at the cliffhanger. I want you to know I would keep ranting, but this episode has to end. Your parental figures. Your parental figure. That's what I'm gonna say. Your parental figures.
Therapy.
With all that in mind, I once again thank you all for watching. We will catch you in the next episode where we will uncover just how far this thing goes. Bye, everyone.
Goes to the top. It goes to the top.